Cheers, guys. Epix 911, welcome to the Sunday, July 23rd, 2017 edition of VR News. Since there's no more annotations, there were a couple of clarifications the last couple of nights of stories. So I'm just going to go through them verbally quick. Timestamps in the description below so you can skip by this if you don't want to hear those clarifications and just go right to the first news story. So let's start. First one, just real quick, the arcade cabinet. Quite a few comments, questions, why I didn't sell it, give it away. I couldn't. I literally built it when the basement was unfinished because the dimensions were such it wouldn't go up or down either stairwell. Nor did I build it modular at all. So it was basically the rubbish removal guys taking it apart or me. Out of respect for my cab, old Betsy, I chose to do it myself. I've saved all the parts and she will be reborn. Second thing to talk about, the Oculus Rift Touch Bundle. Set off a bit of a firestorm. Some negativity kind of hurled out. What are you talking about, Epix? Mine has a gamepad. You're wrong. What I was talking about, and I thought I was clear at the beginning of the video, but obviously not, was yes, the current Summer of Rift sale bundles have all of that. I was talking about the ones after the Summer of Rift ends. The bundles where they said they were going to permanently reduce the price by $100. My story was merely commenting it's not so much a price reduction, out of the goodness of their hearts. It's price through eliminating components. Because if you add up the components they remove, you more or less get $100. Still a lower price, and it's a whole separate discussion whether you think gamepads are important or not. I just wanted to point out that it's not just a price drop. It's elimination through reducing components. And then the last thing, Age of Heroes, a few of you pointing out not in early access, which I said it was. Thank you for that clarification. And that actually amplifies what I had to say about that game. So a bit of an uphill struggle for them. Hopefully they can get that game polished and on track. With that said, guys, let's dive into VR news. So this first story, kids and comics, pretty synonymous. Now for me, right up there, video games, D&D, riding on my BMX, and comics. Those were the things that I loved to do as a kid. Comics also what finally broke down the barrier between me and accepting ebooks. Yes, I was a diehard, have to touch the book and feel the paper. When I saw how comics looked on an iPad, my first thought was, what size are they? Wow, that small? You mean I could have my entire comic collection on my iPad, including all the comics I ever got rid of? And I was pretty much sold. Then it was on to magazines and eventually ebooks. Well, fast forward to now, and there are literally dozens of different comic book apps out on the market, but they cater to iOS, Android, PC, not to VR. And that's where this program comes along. It's ComX VR. Yes, I heard that too, from EigoManga, and it allows comics to be read in VR. But I want to stress and note that this is not really a VR application. Yes, it takes place in 360-degree space, but these are essentially the same comics you would purchase with any other app. They're 2D panels. Yeah, you can zoom in on them and do all that kind of stuff, but think of it more as like a big screen for your desktop. It's working with the conventional 2D comics. Hopefully at some future point that changes, but for now, if you want to read a comic in 360 degree with an HMD on your head, that is an app that'll get you there. Next story, Racket NX getting a major early access 2 update July 27th. It's going to cost you $20 US, but there is a free demo currently available. The game is a mashup of futuristic racquetball and pinball, extremely polished, and one of the highest positive rating games I've ever seen. This thing is on Steam with a 99% positive rating, which is really damn good. Bunch of stuff, bug fixes, tweaks, enhancements like audio, soundtrack. They've even changed the structure of the dome. It's much more spherical now, so the ball doesn't get hung up anywhere and it always rolls back to center, which happens to be where you, the player, are situated. Sounds absolutely fantastic. Again, July 27th. Next, HTC America sponsoring an online survey and dangling some carrots to get people to actually do it. One of the reasons we got rid of our landline and went strictly mobile phone in this house was the only people calling us on the damn phone were salespeople or, you guessed it, survey people. And they always seemed to call around dinner time, which was freaking annoying. So we got rid of the landline and mercifully having to fill surveys. Well, HTC, recognizing that, are dangling some carrots. Like I said, 3 Vive systems, 7 gift cards worth $100 to $150 US. The catch, those are draw prizes. So even if you go through the survey, and remember, they're always longer than they say, this one 10 to 15, I'd block off 20 to 25 just to be safe. But if it's still appealing to you, even though it's draw-based, just know it's only open to US residents. The rest of us, out of luck. This next story, guys, another example of virtual reality in an area other than gaming and a field that I'm particularly passionate about, and that is helping children. Shauna Heller, recognizing the potential of VR, she worked at Oculus and wanted to do more for children, especially the children's hospital. So she quit her job. She began working as a consultant to bring non-VR applications at first to life. Then she took on a project to create a VR simulation to teach doctors how to treat infants in emergencies. She put together a team which included the hospital staff, programmers, used a consumer-grade Rift and Touch. This was all back in early 2016. They came up with a prototype. 18 developers throughout the year and a bit worked on this, and the end result is a training program that is going to be able to make a hell of a difference in treatment of children in emergencies, like I stated. The mannequins, the manual method was using mannequins before, $500,000 for each hospital undergoing that type of training. So the benefit here is not just, better learning, streamlining the training, etc. There can actually be a massive reduction in cost. You're writing the software once and then distributing it to the various hospitals. So just my 2 cents, guys. Healthcare gets a lot of coverage, whether it's Canada. We've always had that debate. Even though we have, government healthcare, we should have private options. In the US currently, this huge big thing with Obamacare and the repeal. Whatever the politics, put those aside. The beauty here with this story is it can make the treatment for children better. It can make it more cost effective, but the part that's the best is that it can be better. It can help save lives, which is freaking fantastic. And it happens to be something we're all pretty passionate about, VR. So good to hear. Guys, that's it for the news on this Sunday. As always, cheers.